Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Prop Shop. I am Andy Lang from WagerTalk.com, and we've got another 15 minutes of winners joining me, as always. The talented and profitable Ariel Epstein, the prop queen herself. Ariel, we are well into the second part of MLB season. We're fresh out of the All-Star break. Teams should be kind of back in the groove and everything. We saw a big trade last night, so before we get into some of these plays, what are your expectations for the second half of the season? Are you really keeping an eye on some of these teams that are seemingly giving up, and who's trading for prospects, who's trading away their big guys? How do you approach the second half of this MLB season?
The second half is going to change a lot of things. I have to be really careful around the trade deadline when it comes to strikeout props, especially because it's going to change up some of the lineups. You're going to see some of the teams either be buyers or sellers. The Baltimore Orioles, I've heard a lot of people texting me. They've been saying, I'm going to jump in on the Orioles to get into the playoffs, potentially win the American League, or like this way they could hedge out. I just see that as absolutely crazy, especially because you don't know if the Orioles are going to be buyers or sellers. The Orioles are probably the most interesting team within the next week. However, the way that I looked at the All-Star break was, where could I jump in live? I jumped in on the Chicago White Sox over 84.5 wins. I jumped in on the Boston Red Sox to miss the playoffs at plus 100. Andy, those are the two things that I'll be looking at to see if those White Sox get better because they have the second easiest strength of schedule in the second half. If the Red Sox get worse because they're the second hardest strength of schedule in the second half.
It's great work on your part. We had the White Sox circled as well as a team to bet on quite a bit in the second half of the season, and that smile on your face has to be because of the Red Sox completely imploding. That to miss the playoffs is looking quite tasty right now. So congratulations on grabbing that line. Surely that line is dropped and you got the best value on that. Let's get to some player props. We got a pretty good slate of games. We got a lot of later games, so people have enough time to get these lines in. I'm going to hand it to you. You've got three pitcher props. So let's start off. What do you got for today's slate?
First, I'll start with the outs prop. I like for Alex Wood, the San Francisco Giants starter, to go under 17.5 outs. This is a number that against lefties on the road, Wood's pitch mix, which includes sinkers, sliders, changeups, the Cubs actually have the fifth highest team slugging in the situation with a 435. He's hit 18 outs just once in his last 7 starts, which is why Alex Wood under 17.5 really intrigues me. As for the strikeout props, my first one is the over 6.5 strikeouts on Phillies starter Zach Wheeler. Even though this would be better if he was at home as opposed to on the road, still went over this number in both games where he pitched against a team with a top 15 K rate against righties on the road. He's also gone over this number, Wheeler, in 6 of 7 games overall against teams with a top 15 K rate. That's what he's got today against the Pittsburgh Pirates, who ranked 6th in K rate against right-handed pitchers, averaging 5 strikeouts a start. I'm going to go with the over 6.5 in plus money on Zach Wheeler today. Lastly, the under 4.5 strikeouts on Houston Astros starter Jose Urquidy. He's up against the Seattle Mariners. It's pretty crazy because he has faced the Mariners 7 times in the last 2 seasons. He has only gone over this number once, and that was last year. This season still has not gone over 4.5 strikeouts against the Mariners. The Mariners have the 9th lowest K rate against right-handed pitchers. They're averaging about 4 strikeouts a game when up against a right-handed starter. At least the right-handed starters are averaging 4 strikeouts a game against the Mariners lineup. I'm going to stick with this trend that Urquidy does not strike out the Mariners very often. He's also gone under the number in 7 of 10 games when up against teams with a bottom 15 K rate the way the Mariners do. Under 4.5 strikeouts on Urquidy, Andy.
Great stuff, Ariel. Love the stats. Love the research. You certainly come with all the stats. I love Zach Wheeler. It was interesting. You and I submit all our plays, and both of us had Zach Wheeler. I'll follow up a little bit with Wheeler. I played him over 18.5 outs just because he's been going pretty deep into games. You covered some of the really good numbers on him. He's gone over this total June 28th against Atlanta. Then he pitched 2 games in a row against St. Louis where he pitched 7 innings, went easily over this total. 0 earned runs in both of those games. He did get lit up by Toronto, who's surging a little bit, but then he went 7 strong innings against the Cubs. Pirates have lost 4 or 5, and those 4 games. They've scored 2 or fewer runs. So I just don't think they get to Wheeler. I don't think he gets touched up today. I think he goes a little bit deep into the game and he gets over 18.5 outs. I'm also going to take an under on this Ohtani line, which I think is just too high. 19.5 outs is such a big number, and I think this is I like Wheeler as my favorite play today, but Ohtani just is right behind him. He's pitched in 16 games this season. He's only gone over this total 4 times. He's pitched against Texas twice. He went under in both those games. Texas lost 3 straight to Seattle, but in every game they had a respectable amount of hits. They got several runs. So, yeah, they lost, but they're just not getting dominated. I think Ohtani can pitch good, but I would bet he gets pulled maybe the 6th inning or before. I think this number is just a little bit too high. So give me Ohtani under 19.5 outs. And then I'm going to do the unthinkable. I'm going to support the Kansas City Royals offense, which is always a roll of the dice. Give me over 1.5 runs in the first 5 innings. It's a fade of Jameson Taillon, who's not been sharp recently. In his last 6 starts, he's allowed 23 total earned runs.
Oof.
Yes, he's gotten out of the 5th inning 1 time in the last 9 games he started. Now, listen, the Royals, I know they got shut out the last 2 games, but they did have 12 hits combined in those, so I think there was a little unlucky they didn't get any runs. Nobody wants to bet on the Royals. I'm going to be the contrarian today. I'm going to bet on the Royals to actually score a couple runs in the first part of the game. Ariel, am I crazy on the Royals? It's okay. It's okay if you tell me I'm crazy for betting on the Royals.
The Yankees are a team that I said, even at the All-Star break, I wouldn't be surprised if you see them go cold in August. This is kind of including August because it's the end of July. The Yankees are they'll start to realize once it hits September, oh my goodness, the Toronto Blue Jays are only 5 games behind us instead of 10. We've got to really pick this up. That's when the Yankees will heat back up again. But for the rest of this month, I'm not surprised if you start to see the Yankees regress a bit, and that also includes this struggling starting pitching staff, where the Yankees starting pitching in the first half of the season had I'm pretty sure their ERA has gone down by at least a run or two, or gone up by at least a run or two since the first half of the season. The Yankees just, it's okay. Royals team total over, go for it. Why not?
Well, if I get the prop queen's blessing, I feel like I'm gonna go a good
I'm just
spot.
hedging my happiness here, Andy. I'm hedging my happiness here because yesterday I didn't even get to watch the Subway Series game, but thank goodness for that because I would have been devastated watching the Yankees get walked off on. How do you come off of a walk-off? Are the Yankees going to be ready to bounce back? We'll see. It's been a really tough opener. Houston, the Mets. Now the Yankees get Kansas City. Do you fall asleep through that game or do you come out revived? Guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see. So just to kind of quick recap, Ariel and I both just independently are all over Zach Wheeler today. So let's take him over his strikeout and over his outs. Ariel likes Alex Wood to go deep into the game. We'll take his over outs, and then Urquidy under 4.
Wood under.
Wood under. Sorry, Wood under. I read it wrong. I'm sorry. Alex Wood under because he stinks. I like Ohtani under, and I like the Royals over. So great stuff, as always, from Ariel Epstein. Biggest thing I got to promote, got a 5% UFC play. I know we don't talk UFC on this show. Ariel, I'm on an 8-0 run in UFC.
Woo!
8-0. Got another 5% max play that's up at WagerTalk.com. That's where we're doing a ton of damage. So encourage everyone to go get that. Ariel, tell everyone where we can see you. And NFL right around the corner. We're looking at some of these futures and we're getting ready for the season. But in the meantime, where can we follow you for all your baseball info?
Definitely at Yahoo Sportsbook on Twitter, sports.yahoo.com, or the Yahoo Sports app. I'll be on MLB Network's pregame spread tonight, 5:30 p.m. Eastern time until 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. Usually the show's 5 to 6. However, today, 5:30. Back at 5 tomorrow. Check it out.
Gotcha. WagerTalk TV app has just been released. Downloaded it last night. And congratulations to the team that worked on it. It is fantastic. You don't have to go to YouTube anymore. You can just use it on your phone. While you're on the go, you can catch Prop Shop and all the other Wager Talk shows that you love. So, Ariel, thank you so much. Good luck, everyone. Let's cash these props. Let's have a great week, and we'll see everyone next week on another edition of Prop Shop.